the phone to somebody else, and they tracked the phone from a different city to Abuja. So some of these things, our enforcement agencies and the security apparatus, they have these gadgets. They have them with the greatest respect to them. But the thing is, are we using them properly? Are we using them? Some of them, you will now hear somebody tell you gadgets there are not being maintained. Are there allocations that go to the maintenance of those gadgets yearly? Of course, certainly the answer is yes. But what is happening? Who is being held accountable? And when you begin to look at it as from that angle, you will find out that if somebody was held accountable, it is possible that there might have been a malfunction of the drone. It's possible. Because I mean, the military apparatus, they are also human beings. They have brothers, they have sisters, they have value for human lives. I am not holding brief for them. Of course, we will not take out the place of repeated mistake. We had something similar that happened in Maiduguri. We had the one that happened in Nasarawa. Oh, it was a mistake. The bombing was a mistake. The military apparatus and all that. In French, we say "Promets gaou, ce n'est pas gaou."
What does that mean?
Okay, so a little bit of French. Okay, so fool me the first time, I am not the fool. Fool me the second time, il n'y a qu'un gaou. Premier gaou, ce n'est pas gaou. C'est deuxième gaou. Il n'y a qu'un gaou. So it's important that when a mistake is made the first time, you call it a mistake. When it is repeated, you can no longer. I mean, I'm now translating it, not transliterating. You can no longer reasonably hold it to be a mistake. Okay, so you break a plate today and you say, oh, mommy, is a mistake. And then the next morning you break another plate and you still call it a mistake. No, there is something that needs to be treated. The foundation, the issue, the root of the problem needs to be treated. And so let us face the root. What is the root? It is not about who has been appointed the army chief now. No, I don't have any bias against them. A lot of them are capable. A lot of them are well trained. A lot of them may want to put in their best. But there are administrative issues. The person they might have taken over the baton from, maybe facilities left to them to operate with. How sound are those facilities? And a whole lot of factors. And then it will look like, oh, maybe the person is incapable or the person is not doing well. No.
Well, because I like what you just said, because this has happened with successive army chiefs and all. We've had situations where, but this time around, it seems like it's taking a, religious and ethnic coloration to, dimension and all of that. That's quite worrisome, because we do know that mistakes happen with everything. I mean, you drive your own car. A car that you'll probably have been driving for years, and you can have an accident, So we cannot rule out the place of mistakes and accidents and all of that in military operations as well. But what many people are concerned about is the reoccurrence. Like, understand how painful this can be, watching Nigerians lose their lives. It is also expected of us to not demoralize. I like what the Chief of Defense Staff said, yesterday about the situation. I said, look, there are many officers who are doing and soldiers who are doing their best to see that we all go to bed at night and sleep well. Some of them having sleepless nights and all of that, so that we can sleep properly at night. And it would not be fair for us to demoralize them, because what the implication of this would be that they may be a little too careful to not carry out certain operations that may help the fight against terrorism. Now, let's talk about consequence management. What do you expect the army hierarchy to do when they find certain persons, liable for this level or this grave mistake that has cost Nigerian lives?
Okay, so before I would address the issue of consequence or who is to be held liable, I also know that when it comes to security protocol, there are certain information the security apparatus may not bring to the table for the peace and tranquility of the country. So the management of intelligence when it comes to the security circle is so sensitive that your wife may not even know the biggest of secret which the public is discussing there in the public domain, believing that, oh, there is really a mistake or a problem has gone down. No, but there are also certain things being managed, so much so that you are, no matter how much you want to move, you are constrained not to disclose even a letter in that secret. A word cannot leave your mouth concerning that secret, because it is in the interest of the peace and tranquility of the country. Also, I also know that while I celebrate and love the military, I lost my uncle to the war, Boko Haram war, the whole insurgency thing.
Sorry about that.
Yes, years back, and it was a painful experience. For me also, it was a painful experience, and I tell you, there are a lot of amazing, hardworking military personnel out there giving their best. But also, when mistakes or when certain things are not properly done, just like you have in the US, in other countries, in other, somebody has to go down for it. So if in your watch as commanding officer, base commander, something happens under your watch, you either fish out the person whose negligence, or you honorably retire, you resign, you honorably leave the seat. Oh, I think by this conduct of mine, I have failed. But then, more importantly, is the fact that what is the worth of Nigerian life? We are counting now. We have gone beyond the 80, the 80 persons that are believed to have lost their life. We are talking about 120 something, over 100. And so if we're talking about over 100, how dare you cause the loss of American life or British over 100? You will go to International Court of Criminal Justice. You will appear in ICJ. I'm telling you. So these are important things. What is the worth of the life of the ordinary citizen of Nigeria? Their life is important and precious, and that is why we should have some persons go down when things go wrong, to serve as a deterrent, so that there will be diligence encouraged amongst those who are still there remaining to be served. It is not to vilify. It is not to make the person say, oh, you have never done anything good. You might have gotten a lot of accolades and awards from operations in Congo, in Liberia, but then when you make the mistake that cost the entire team or the entire unit, no, you honorably step aside, take responsibility, face the consequences. Would there be court martial? Are we going to see court martial? We see them, and then we yes, there may be leniency shown to them for the sake of your record in this and that, we will be lenient. Rather than give you 6 months or 1 year, we will give you 3 months in imprisonment, and then so something has to be done. But when nothing is done, because we didn't hear anything done as to serve as a deterrent for the one that happened in Maiduguri, or the one that happened in Nasarawa, and so we are saying something has to be done in order to help people be on their toes. Is a very sensitive assignment,
and perhaps also build confidence of Nigerians in rebuild the confidence of Nigerians in the armed forces. That's quite important. You just brought up something also that I am very particular about. Profiling and security clearance and clearance levels for operatives, running constant checks to ensure that these people are still on the side of the state, because these days I'm worried about a lot of security operatives, and based on their welfare and remuneration and all of that.
Yes.
In a situation where the state is unable to properly cater for you, the Chief of Defense Staff, in appearing at the National Assembly, had made certain statements regarding the welfare of officers, and he said, look, at his level, he still gets 1,500 naira per day for feeding as feeding allowance. And if that's the situation, and this soldier has an AK-47, he's drafted to a community where bandits are operating and terrorists are operating, and they are able to entice him with better pay, better conditions, and all of that. What do you think is going to happen? I'm really worried about that, because the fight against insurgency insecurity is taking different dimensions now as we see it.
Well, you see, I don't know. It's quite a sensitive one.
Also considering the fact that the security sector has gotten more monies from the national budgets year on year.
So the question is, who takes the money? Where did the money go to? Where did the money go to? Because if we don't interrogate these repeated patterns,
well, they say they buy war equipment and
then you still see hardware. Some persons carry we see them on the road sometimes carry rusty guns. Rusty guns. So it's yes, I am 100% in support of seeing to the welfare of the security apparatus. I am 100% in support, because they are human beings. They are our brothers, they are our sisters, they are our uncles, they are our fathers, they are our mothers. Some of them, they have gone extra mile to ensure we have the calm we have right now. But the truth be told, sometimes you hear the ones at the lower echelon of the security apparatus complain that it seems what is being released from the top doesn't get to the down, as if the water gets to some point and somebody uses a zinc to stop the water from dropping down, and the water is going somewhere else. Because in all honesty, some of them, you see them, they are managing with their uniform. It's painful. You see them, they are not really well kept. They are our brothers. We see them. You see a security personnel managing 1-2 uniforms. Managing boots, wearing boots that are not actually security boots. You just see these things. Their welfare is important, but also, like you said, the moment the welfare is not properly managed, even when released, and it doesn't trickle down to the most junior person, it becomes a threat. Because the ones at the lower echelon are the ones with the guns, and you send him and he's angry. He has not eaten since yesterday and he's angry. You send him into a community. It's going to be a very delicate thing to do. Their mental health is going to be at risk because they are not well taken care of, and that may lead, like you said, possibly to people being lured to participate in things that are not supposed to be heard of them, that would now jeopardize